Little Nazi circus freak test.
What?
Okay, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, can I tell you how annoying the new Sheets is?
The one here in Wadsworth?
Yes.
You can try.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Sheets.
Yeah, me too.
But, like, the fact that, like, it's the cheapest gas in town.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, you just
$2.52 a gallon this morning.
Yeah, because I stopped there on my way here because I needed energy drinks.
Yeah.
Because I had coffee this morning because peek behind the curtain, we're recording later today. So my whole morning was kind of thrown off.
That's why you needed coffee.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I had coffee because I usually at that time I would already had my at least first energy drink.
Yeah.
So I pulled
12th
in.
energy drink of the day.
Right. I hear colors. So I pull in, and there's
taste
this,
sounds. It's amazing.
there's this car parked, like they came through the gas pump,
Yeah.
but is like parked in the middle of like where you would drive, waiting for the car to be done so they could back into it.
So they can back into a gas pump?
Yes.
I hate that.
When there were multiple gas pumps open.
Yeah.
There was a gas pump open on the same side.
Immediate loss of license.
Like, it was to the point where, like, they were in between the car getting gas
Right.
and the parking spot. Like, they were just smack dab in the middle.
I hate that.
And then trying to get out of there, because there's only one exit in and out of that place.
How old were they?
Not as old as you would think.
Really?
Probably our age.
Little blue tag hanging in the window?
No.
Really?
No.
That's like usually one of two things
Oh,
that
the
are
blue
happening.
tag of entitlement?
Oh, gosh. Tell me about it, dude. We call them bluebirds in our family.
Oh, yeah, same.
So
Like,
that
I've
way
always-
we have a reference to them so we don't have to like
blue-
offend
or
people in a sense.
That
but
or blue hairs.
blue. Yeah.
'Cause of
I
the-
call, yeah. I just call them
they-
bluebirds because it's easier to kind of like designate who I'm talking about in that sense. But
Okay, rabbit hole. Do they still have the tint on the top of the windshields that was like blue, like a blue gradient on the top?
Oh, I don't think people do that anymore. I haven't seen
No,
one in
like
a long time.
they would come standard from the factory like that. Like they would have that, like the shading at the top.
On which cars? Came from the factory like that?
Yeah.
No, that was like
like
I'm
on,
not,
like,
I'm not
Buicks
trying to
and
be
stuff?
I'm not trying to be crass at all. That was like a marker that we knew where
Old
that you were
people.
from the ghetto. No,
Oh,
that
really?
that was
See, 'cause
straight ghetto.
we used to always call them blue hairs because that it was a blue hue, and it would like the sun
Color
would come
the
down
hair.
and color the hair, so they'd be blue hairs.
No. That was like where I came from. That was yeah.
Okay, so that was
because we lived like we were out in the countryside, but we were only maybe 10 minutes away from the like ghetto part of
Right.
the town that I lived outside of, and so that was typically if you saw that blue tint on the top of the windshield, it was like, oh,
interesting.
I could pretty much peg a 4-block radius of where you lived.
Right. Well,
So-
like growing up here, Rittman was always considered like people thought that they were like gangsters, but like you're from the cornfield, so you're like cornfield gangsters.
Yeah, I love the country kids up here. They're one of my favorites too.
Oh,
But
for sure. That have never worked a day in their life. And
yeah. Never been on a farm ever. So, well, maybe some of the ones that live in Wayne County, I'm sure they've been on a farm before. But it's
Right.
like the ones that want to pretend like they're rednecks, like where I came from, driving the big EE trucks and everything. Is
Oh, the big
It's a
EE
lot.
trucking are pristinely clean all the time.
yeah,
I've never
yeah,
seen a lick of
never
dirt.
seen mud. Yeah, I love those. Yeah. All right, so you ready to get into this thing today?
Yeah, what do you got for me?
What do I got for you? No, you were supposed to prepare the stuff for this
No,
one.
no,
Yes.
no.
No, we talked about
No,
this.
because I did the. Wait, did I do the cryptid? You did.
I did the cryptid.
Oh, crap.
See,
I
that's what I'm
thought-
saying.
Shoot, I thought the Roguru was the last one that we did.
So we don't have anything prepared for today.
I didn't
is what you're
prepare
saying.
anything. And you didn't prepare anything?
I didn't prepare anything. I guess maybe we better call somebody.
Yeah.
You know anybody?
I got somebody in mind.
Holler at him.
Andrew!
I'm sitting right next to you. Surprise.
When did you get here?
I've been here the whole time. That's
Oh.
movie magic, folks. I've been here the whole conversation.
Wow. Okay.
He was sitting listening to all, agreeing with everything we were saying about
Yeah, no, that was
sheets
good.
and,
Yeah.
and old people and
Yeah, I'm glad that you have like a slur for people with the blue tags in there.
yeah.
That I think is helpful.
My family started using that a while back because we were like, I don't know if you ever listened to our hot takes episode, but one of my things is like once people hit 65 years old, there should be mandatory driving tests every
I
2
agree,
years.
Oh, 100, yeah.
Until they die.
Yeah,
100% I
And-
agree.
It's for everyone's benefit. Really.
Well, no, and honestly, like, I thought, like, as soon as you collect your Social Security, you have to get a driver's license test every 2 years.
Yeah, that's solid too. I
Because
like
then that kind of encompasses a lot of people who don't know how to drive.
And it pairs everything up pretty easily
Yeah.
for the government in that sense too. Yeah, I like it. So, anyways, we've got our friend Andrew Reeves here with us today.
Good morning, Joshes.
Good morning.
Right, yeah.
Hey, it's his first time on the podcast. It's our first time having a guest on the
What an
podcast,
honor.
which is great.
Yeah.
Such a privilege.
Well, when we were talking about it, we were like, who's somebody that we feel like could come in, match our energy, that's going to, we think you're hilarious, obviously, for a lot of different reasons, and you're also a very interesting guy, and so we just thought you'd be our perfect first guest to have on the
thank you.
podcast.
Right. We wanted to set the bar really high, and so then that way we can make fun of anybody else who doesn't
right.
live up to your
Well,
standard.
I got a lot to live up to now. That's pretty lofty heights.
I think that the cool thing about it is, like Josh was saying, is so any future guests that we have, like once they get done, we can be like, well, they were no Andrew, but
Yeah, we have a scale.
Or maybe by the time we're done, you guys will be saying, at least they weren't Andrew. There's the other possibility there.
I mean, you're not
that's
wrong.
Yeah, that's a possibility too.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. Well, on that note, good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Josh.
And Andrew.
Yeah, and
Andrew.
Hey.
Hey.
Recognize me? No? Well, I'm Josh.
I got suspended from school because of Josh.
You're going to be there with me in every way imaginable, Josh.
Josh is truly in a trance, yes.
I went to high school with Josh, and I can tell you right now, he's a terrific kisser.
Hi, I'm Josh.
Josh, these are people's jobs we're talking about, Josh.
Josh walking in the door wasn't even close.
Josh, you are a muffin-snuggling pirate puncher.
Josh is a good guy. We can talk to him.
Please welcome Joshua.
Okay, so we want to give an opportunity today for you guys to get to know Andrew a little bit. We're hoping that he's going to tell us some stories from youth ministry days when we were in it together, like all three of us, working in youth ministry at different times. Outside of telling the stories and stuff like that, we're just going to let you kind of get to know a few things about him. I actually have some questions
Oh, geez.
prepared
Ooh.
that I didn't come up with. That ChatGPT wrote for me, and so we'll see how those go when we get there.
I was gonna say, we love AI generated
We
stuff
do,
here.
especially when I tell AI, "Can you write me questions that are guaranteed to make things awkward?"
Oh, great. That's so exciting.
Wait, do
So-
we both get to answer these questions?
Yeah, sure. Why not? We can all answer.
Wonderful.
So I had a would you rather question. This one, I think that this one came from the same list that I found on, why am I drawing a blank? Cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
That from their website when I looked it up the last time. So the last one, if you remember, was pretty hilarious for us to be answering because we answered the question, would you rather wear a wedding dress or would you rather wear a bikini full time? And so
Naturally bikini, because...
yeah.
This was last episode. I'd go wedding dress personally. But
Really?
I don't want
Okay.
I don't want to dwell too long on the old stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That's fair. Wedding dress.
Yeah.
I
You know,
I don't mean this in a disrespectful way at all. I can see that.
I think I could pull it off. A tasteful one. Nothing
Yeah.
nothing elegant, but like, yeah, I think I can make that work.
That's great. I love it. So my question for today is this. I don't know. I was trying to pick between some of the ones that I had out here, but I think this one's a good one. Would you rather have eyebrow hair that never stops growing or knuckle hair that never stops growing? So we're picking either eyebrows, that your hair on your eyebrows never stops growing, or knuckle hairs, like on your hands, that would never stop growing.
You.
Yeah.
I don't like either of those.
No,
I choose none of the above. I
yeah.
choose death again.
So, sorry. I would have to say eyebrows because, like, you could do more things with them. Like, I don't know, like the knuckle. That would be weird to have like ape hands, essentially. Like, I don't know.
This is one of those ones that I'm curious at the rate of growth. Like, is it the normal like hair rate of growth? Because if so, I think I'm picking knuckles. Because I could just like daily, like just buzz them back down.
But
to
if it's
nothing.
daily amount of growth, like, why wouldn't you go eyebrows? Because I don't know.
Yeah,
I've never touched my eyebrows.
Because
Same,
oh,
yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
See, I don't. I guess that's why I would pick.
I got
eyebrows.
those old man
Yeah.
eyebrows where I have like there's
No,
like
the scrag-
there's like 4 hairs in each one of my eyebrows that will grow at a rate that is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And in between the times that I pay attention to it, they'll grow way longer than the rest of my eyebrow hairs. So I have to like pluck those out. to
Yeah,
keep
no,
them from
I've
looking crazy.
never had to touch my eyebrows.
That's interesting. Must be nice.
For me, as a cook, I definitely feel like knuckles are out. I shouldn't pick knuckles because that's It feels
Well, I
like
mean, you would
conflict
have
of interest.
gloves on, though.
That's true. You know, I'm still going to go
But
eyebrows.
like, ooh,
Or-
actually, yeah, no, because if you think about wearing gloves, like the latex gloves and stuff, like your hands get sweaty.
No, yeah, this is
that
not a
would be
good
terrible.
situation.
That would, ugh.
I'm
like,
thinking eyebrows 100%. I just feel like
I'm
that's,
getting a sensory thing
yeah.
that.
I'm assuming we're allowed to trim, or is this just like constantly growing?
That's like the $1 million question, right? Is it the Santa Claus kind of deal?
Oh,
where
it's like as soon as
you go in and cut it off, and as soon as you like blink, it's back again to the same length or whatever. Because that would be pretty crazy. But I think I'm with you guys actually on the eyebrow thing. Just answering the question as is, mainly just because I think that if they got long enough, we could just figure out how to like braid it into your hair or
Yeah,
something like
we can
that
do
to
cool
keep it
stuff
out of
with
your
that.
way. You know, what I'm saying?
I would do like the handlebar mustache with my eyebrows.
There you go. Wax it up. And
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That'd be
Incorporate them
great.
into a mustache, you know?
Oh,
to really
like-
frame the whole
I
face.
was about to say eyebrow Fu Manchu. You brought it around, went all the way down, but
Yeah,
you don't have a mustache. You just have the side pieces
Yeah,
I
that
think
connect
that's.
to
I
it.
think that's special. I think there's something there.
Yeah.
I'm almost wanting to like this to happen.
Or do
I'm never
or even
cutting my
do
eyebrows
like
again.
have them like really thin at the bridge of your nose and then taper them down and then into like sideburns.
Yeah, there
Like
you go.
Civil War era sideburns.
Like the mutton chop thing, but like with your eyebrows included in it. That'd
Yeah.
be great. Man, we'd be some handsome dudes. If
I
we had
think
some.
so.
yeah.
Everybody would notice us. I don't think there's anything fun or special about knuckle hair that I can think
No,
of.
like I said, it would. The gloves like instantly
it's
like
just bad.
gave me a sensory issue
Yeah,
that
that's
I
bad.
don't
That's
like.
bad.
I think the only redeeming factor of the knuckle hair thing would be that like if you had sorry. If you had like your knuckle hairs like braided back down your hand, and then and then you just had like a little bracelet or something like that that was like holding them back, and so you have braids going back.
I hate that.
I hadn't considered the knuckle hair bracelet. Yeah, that's
I'm just saying.
that doesn't change anything for me. I hadn't considered it. That's a good point.
Okay, all right.
The only
fair.
positive I could think of with the knuckle hair is like if you would ever get into a fight, you would at least have some cushion.
That's true.
On your knuckles to.
Oh
not-
no! Can you imagine? Like you start punching and they get pulled out though. Like that'd be even worse. I feel like.
Well, if it gets pulled out, is it just like an indefinite strand?
Oh, that'd be crazy. If you had hair that, like, if you tried to like pluck them or something like that, they just keep coming out. Oh gosh.
But then, like,
It's like
either way, you get that one long hair that you can never seem to like pull. Like you keep pulling the wrong one,
Oh yeah.
and then like you have to make them all even again. And
You ever see those videos of the ingrown hairs that people start pulling out?
No, I avoid that.
Yeah.
I've seen. Well, so I'm one of those weird people. That's the reason why Dr. Pimple Popper has a like YouTube video channel and all that kind of stuff. But no, there's videos that I've seen where somebody will have an ingrown hair and they'll like open up the pocket that it's in and get it into the hair and start pulling, and it just keeps coming. And coming
It's like where does it all come from?
And I'm like that's got to be years worth
Right.
of ingrown hair. It's
Well,
not
yeah.
not just a matter of
It's not a
like,
new
oh, you missed
problem.
that for like a week kind of thing. So, anyways, so let's start diving in and get to know our first guest, Andrew, a little bit better. So, Andrew,
Hi, Josh.
tell us all about yourself.
Oh, my name is Andrew. I'm 6'2". I'm based out of Akron, Ohio.
You're taller than 6'2".
I'm not. I'm 6'2".
Really?
Yeah. The problem is a lot of people say they're 6'2", but they're not. And it's like, the next show, if it's like, I got doctor.
No, I'm saying it from the perspective that I'm 6'1",
Okay.
and you seem much taller to me.
Interesting. Maybe you're lying, or maybe I'm lying. It's one of the two.
Maybe we're all lying.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe height is just a
It's-
construct of.
yeah, just like time.
Height is the friends we made along the way, or something. I don't know.
Whatever Nietzsche said.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm 6'2", maybe. Let's see.
6'2" sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I'm a cook, as previously mentioned.
6'2" in real life, 6'5" in our hearts.
Yeah, thank you. That means a lot. Keep that in mind with your next podcast, people. They're not going to be as tall as me, probably.
No doubt.
I'm going to stand out. Yeah,
Please stand up.
I'm going to stand
Head
up.
and shoulders above everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, here I am.
So you're a cook. Where do you
cook.
work at?
I work at a place called Chameleon Cafe in Akron. Shout out. Most of you probably haven't heard of it, but it's a delightful little like mom and pop hole in the wall place.
It's
on Main
fantastic.
Street.
If
Good
you want
stuff.
some good food
Good
and you're
times.
near Akron, you should go.
Yeah, I'm there. So
That's right.
I'm
All the
doing-
more reason.
Yeah. So check out Chameleon Cafe sometime. Good people there. Let's see. I'm a Virgo, if that matters.
You have vertigo?
I have Vertigo.
Yeah. Me too.
Vertigo's a great Alfred Hitchcock film. If you haven't seen it,
Wow.
Let's see. Yeah.
Throwback.
Right. Yeah. I'm very ambivalent towards long walks on the beach.
Okay.
I don't care that much.
You may have to define what ambivalent
Ambivalent?
means. Just for,
Yeah.
I mean,
for
everybody
our
else
side.
know. I mean, we know.
Right.
But for everybody
For those who
else,
might
yeah.
not, yeah.
For Josh.
Just kind of like complete powerful neutrality towards.
So you're
towards the
very
concept.
Switzerland.
Yeah, I'm Switzerland when it comes to beaches. I've always said I'm the Switzerland of beaches. Many have said that about me.
Yeah.
one of your
I've heard
many
that
nicknames.
before. Yeah.
So, I've known the Joshes for, I don't know if you guys have thought through this. It's been about 10 years now.
10
years. It's been a decade.
That's crazy.
Maybe a little bit before for you and a little after for you, but
Yeah.
it's 2015 is when I joined up at our church. I remember meeting you, Josh.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly.
I like how you said Josh. As a
I knew that was good. I
thought
thought through the fact that's going to be completely unhelpful.
Yes.
I looked at and kind of nodded towards Josh, just so y'all know. Mm-hmm. And I'm still not going to specify which one.
Yep.
And then I joined the youth group that Josh, I'm pointing towards the correct one again, was the youth pastor over the fall of that year. And that's when I met Josh as well. So, it's been 10 years.
10 years. That's
crazy.
That's crazy.
I know we've talked about it a lot. Like, time is so weird because we were VBS. We were talking like you've done what 13 VBSs now, or I guess 12 because there wasn't one during COVID.
It was So I think it is 13 VBSs because like the very first one was within my first couple of months of starting with the church.
Right.
So it's even with missing 2020. I think that's correct. It's either 12 or 13.
Because like I figured it out. There was a couple that I missed, and I think I was at like 17 that I've done with Crossroads.
That's a lot.
It is, and it was like I'm still tired.
Like, I was about to say that's a lot of energy drinks, a lot of just time and effort goes into that. But that's awesome.
Yeah.
And you've been a part of how many VBSs now?
I want to say 9 or 10. I'll say 9. Yeah.
Because you jumped right in when you came.
Yeah, pretty much.
Crossroads.
I was excited to get involved with whatever I could. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's been great, and I still, we're all still involved with Crossroads, and I still help out that very same youth group.
Cool. Well, we had two things kind of on the docket for this episode. Was number one to get to know you, and then number two was to ask you some questions just to kind of like dive deeper into things. And so, well, I guess the getting to know you part, we also wanted you to kind of share if you had any funny youth group stories that you wanted to throw out there for the world to be able to enjoy, because that's kind of been a part of what we've done on this show in the past.
Like any skits or anything like that, like that you've done or anything like that.
Well, I know in the past you guys have talked about the Use the Mayonnaise skit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I just want to throw out there that I had the privilege twice being at the receiving end of Josh's pre-brushed and gargled mayonnaise, one of my cereals. So I got to ingest that 2 times. I kept it down once. That was tough.
I don't get queasy at all.
Oh
that
man,
bothers
dude,
me.
it was bad.
I think that's the second time I've ever gagged doing anything like church like skit related stuff like that. That was the first time when I went to gargle the mayonnaise. I like did the and then I was like, and then I was able to keep it down. And the second time was during the Dark Knight Morning Show when we did the Will It Taco.
Oh,
with the peanut butter and jelly taco.
Yeah,
because it was a texture that I was not expecting. It was fine. Like didn't taste bad. It was one of those texture things that I was just like.
I felt that same way. If I remember correctly, I think it was the hot dog in Will It Cake. That Ty and I did. So like the only other thing that's ever made me gag on the Dark Knight Morning Show was the liver pate, which I've talked about before, was just disgusting. But when we were doing Will It Cake, I got excited because when I started to bite into it, it was a bread texture at first, but the moment that hot dog and icing combines in your mouth, it is. It's one of the worst things. I did not enjoy it.
So is it like a Twinkie with a hot dog in the middle?
Yeah. It's like an inside out Twinkie with a hot dog in it. So it's like because the whole outside's covered in icing.
Okay, I was like,
but Yeah,
My brain
that's
broke
foul.
for half a second.
Brooke was the one that created all of the cake, Willet cake items for us, and she just took a fully like cooked and prepared hot dog and cut it perfectly in half, so you couldn't tell like size wise. It didn't look like a hot dog, and it was like the same size as every other cake thing that we had. And so when we got it, our whole deal was you just got to pick it up and bite it, and that was one of my least favorite things.
I also gagged on Dark Knight Morning Show once when we did the Bean Boozled episode.
Oh
Which
yeah,
is, it feels like, it was, I had like 5 rotten fish in a row, followed by spoiled milk, and that was too much for me. That was a lot.
That's hilarious.
Which I know Josh and I have talked about it. Like, we want to try to do that again because they have new flavors.
Yeah.
yeah. Everybody wants to do that again. Why,
Yeah.
why wouldn't
I
they?
enjoyed it. Like,
yeah.
it's, I don't know. I guess I have some, like, weird thing where tastes don't bother me, I guess.
That is very clear, because the episode that we did with baby food,
Oh, yeah.
Josh enjoyed the most disgusting
Yeah.
flavors of baby food that exist on the planet, and ate them like he enjoyed them. Meanwhile, I could barely stomach the ones that he liked, and the ones that were like normal, at least to me. You were like, I don't really care for that one all that much. I'm like, you're such a freak.
Yeah, I remember handing out baby spoons to you from the floor. My hand's probably in a few shots from that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's
It's
part
been
of the-
too long for me to remember.
Right. Part of the problem of the passage of time is that the past 5 years have been like 1 year.
Yeah.
It's just so condensed. Everything's moved forward.
Not like
So-
anything happened 5 years ago.
No,
Well,
I can't
yeah.
place anything that might have made me feel that way.
Yeah, especially since like 2020, like everything feels like it's been condensed down. But I think part of that too is that like we also as a society kind of learned a little bit of rhythm of life a little more so, I think, because we were a little more excited about having some downtime and stuff.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about it not too long ago. We were like, I'd go back to the pandemic right now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, it was great. It's good times. No, I mean in the sense of being able to stay at home and not have like all the responsibilities in that sense. Josh is
Hashtag can't relate.
Well, I'm saying in your life right now, if we were to go back.
Like, if I was at where I'm at now,
Yeah.
then that'd be fine. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I always said, like, if there's another pandemic and everything shuts down, I'm not doing jack crap.
Right.
I'm gonna stay at home and
Yeah.
collect government money because
That's what I did for like 5 months. It was great.
I
So good. The best pain I've ever been.
I remember that time period.
I had to deal
That was
with
very
angry
funny.
DoorDash people, and it was horrible.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to do that. The food service industry would not be the thing for me, but
But honestly, though, I think anybody should have to work in customer service or food service.
It helps.
Like, I think it should be a requirement.
Just helps you see things.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Any other youth things that you think of?
We were reminiscing earlier about a story that I'm going to try and like pick words and names carefully, just because it feels wise to do that.
Names have been changed for the protection of those involved.
Legality.
Yeah, I did nothing wrong. It's the first thing to say. No, there was an individual who we liked to kind of bully and pick on. It was in good fun, probably. It started mostly with the hiding of this person's keys. Just their car keys.
Or objects. Just
objects of
normal
like,
objects.
Yeah, things that he would notice soon that they were missing.
Yeah.
And they usually was just in their pockets or somewhere. As time goes on, though, you kind of got to up the ante.
Because things get stale, things get boring. Like, you could only put objects up in a tree so many times.
Yeah. Right. That's where it goes. Up in
Or
trees.
can you? Like, I've got. See, I'm the problem because I have that personality of I'll just keep doing it forever.
Yeah. No.
I actually have a running joke, and I feel confident saying it on here.
Okay.
Because I don't think that the individual involved listens. If you're out there and you figure out who this is, please don't tell them. But I think it's been at least a year now, there's a particular trash can in a particular place that I'll give the scenario of it. It's in a bathroom, and the person who's responsible for emptying said trash can believes that the trash can should be beside the sink in the bathroom. As any good human being, now just listen.
I can see where this is going.
So, as any good human being knows, in a public restroom, the trash can goes close to the door.
Right, so you can dry your hands,
You're already
use
on
the
it.
door
Yeah. See?
with there and throw it away.
Right, you use the
It's a
paper towel to
hygienic
open.
thing.
Exactly, it's the hygienic thing to do. So, for the past year and maybe some change, I have when I get done washing my hands in that restroom, I take the paper towels, fold them over the edge of the trash can, carry it to beside the door, set it down, open the door with my paper towels, turn the light off, and throw the paper towel away. And there's not been a word said. This is a silent battle of the wills that's been going on for more than a year now, and I'm like that's it. Unfortunately for me and for everybody in my entire life, that's just my personality. Is I want to just push the button as many times as I can.
Right.
You know.
Well, that's fortunate for Josh and I because we like joining in with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's what
Which is why
makes
we're
it
all
worse for
friends.
everybody else.
I was gonna say this is the best and worst yes and group.
Yeah.
That we can
Life
ever...
is a constant game of improv for us.
Oh,
absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, and if you enjoy it, that's great. And if you don't, sorry. It's my condolences.
We enjoy it.
If you don't like it, just stay away.
Here for
from
my
it.
amusement. We just kept upping the level of misplacing belongings, particularly the car keys, until one night we decided to just full send it. What's important about the past is that we used to go to Applebee's every single week, which is a bad decision.
You know that it can hear that.
Oh,
We're recording a podcast.
I'm sorry.
Okay, this is Mason and Josh just opened
Jeez
up
Louise.
loudly a Toblerone, one of the least stealthy chocolate snacks. He's consuming it.
He's leaving.
Josh
He's
left
out.
the room. All right.
We really are turning into an episode of Bad Friends. That's all it is.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
editor,
yell
cut that
at
out
you.
in post. Which one of you edits? Who can I yell at?
I
for
do.
this? Okay, edit.
Do you think I am?
No, I don't. I knew the answer.
It would be raw and uncut.
Yeah. It's really, guy who just
I'm the
opened
one,
up a
I'm the one
Toblerone?
pushing for live episodes.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah, just make it easier. It's over. Oh my gosh, where was I? Oh, we used to go to Applebee's every week.
Yes.
Which is its own, like, I mean, gosh, how many
Regrettable
Applebee's
decision.
stories could we tell, you know?
So many.
We were, I mean, literally weekly.
Table hockey at Applebee's.
Yes, we knew all the wait staff by name.
We did, yeah.
I felt the full range of, like, human expression and emotion in that Applebee's.
See, because
100%, yeah.
for me, I joined the Applebee's at the downturn
Yeah.
of Applebee's because I was never allowed to go after you. So
Yeah. And sadly, we'd been at Applebee's every week for years at that point, so it was like, we're getting tired of this. But yeah,
Applebee's ran its course, and but it
years
was
before we stopped. But
well, we had some
it was
crazy
great, dude.
times at Applebee's.
Applebee's was phenomenal. Oh, it was just like we're in a small town, so that was the open late place that you could go to hang out after stuff like
and
youth
half
group.
price appetizers. I mean,
Oh,
it's
you
kind
can't
of
afford
hard to
not
beat,
to.
like price wise. We
Yeah.
paid $10 and got 2 appetizers and a glass of water every time.
I feel a strong need to defend us going to Applebee's because that is tough. It definitely wore down my body by a few years. You know,
yeah,
we'll never recover from that.
And then after the fact, we would go to Get Go.
If we were still up to it, we'd go to Get Go to hang out because they were 24 hours.
I was too old for that.
Yeah, you didn't make it there. I wouldn't do that now. That's not an option anymore.
Yeah,
that sounds like a terrible time.
Yeah. Anyway, so we go to Applebee's as we do. This one time we decided it would be funny to not just relocate our target's keys, but this time their entire vehicle, which encompassed the usual taking of the keys, which I think, you know, he left them out on his desk every time. Like, it wasn't that hard. And then I moved his vehicle to the local Applebee's. So now we've got this extra detail of not only are my keys missing, my entire car is, which is great. And so he's freaking out. He's figuring out where it is.
Also,
So-
not the only time that his car went missing.
no, this is not the
be
first.
clear,
Yeah,
so-
not the first or only, but just still, you know, it's like we're playing along. I send him a picture from Applebee's of his car, and you know, I get the great guys, you know, whatever. So then I know that they're on their way. He's hitching a ride from one of the other youth leaders. During this time, I once again relocate his vehicle to his own house.
I was gonna say back to the church would have been
Back to the
case
church.
scenario.
It's a good thing we don't have the option to keep doing this because I mean, this would have gotten crazy. But yeah, definitely drove it back to his house. I assume I got a ride. I don't quite remember what happened after.
I don't remember how you got back.
Somebody
I
picked
don't-
me up.
I think
remember either.
I think I drove the individual to
okay,
Applebee's.
yeah.
Yeah,
What's important is I made it back to Applebee's. We all enjoyed a meal together.
I think that this story happened after I was out of the picture,
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, I don't think I was there for this one, but I do recall hearing stories
Yeah,
about
we
it.
were so we had to tell you.
Proud of you guys. Yeah.
As it's happening. But yeah, so we finish up our meal. The individual gets up to leave, and then he walks out into the parking lot and then realizes that his car is once again not where it's supposed to be.
Right. He has the keys at this point.
He has the keys. That's correct, yes.
I also want to be clear that, because as an outsider looking at this and knowing where this individual lived, that he was within walking distance of
It was
home.
not far from Applebee's.
Yeah.
It was just far enough to be maybe a little mean.
Maybe
but
a mile.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe a
At
mile.
most. But yeah, so it wasn't far. So then we got to send him the beautiful picture of his car parked outside of his house.
Yeah.
He started walking there, and then one of us took a Jesus level of pity on him, and then gave him a nice little drive.
Jesus
home.
level of pity.
Yeah, it was the Lord moving at that moment. I'm certain of it. But yeah,
Yeah.
he made it home. But
Which is maybe a level of pity that we never ever showed on any other level.
no, God bless
for him. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just the kind of stuff we got up to all the time. It's just
I think between that and
general
the
mischief.
mousetraps,
The mouse
Oh, the mousetraps. That
was-
remains
that was
one of my
peak.
favorite things. The best part of the mousetraps is when Sky got involved. Because we're, so for everybody listening, we did an episode of the Dark Knight Morning Show where Josh and I, we played Mousetrap Roulette. So we brought back the original co-host that was with me, Ty, came back and did an episode with us, and as he sat between us, he would pick for us where we had to place our hands under these blind things, and there were mousetraps that may or may not be set. We didn't know. We just had to
Right.
put our hand down, and they were actually like guiding us. Like Brooke and them were out there going like, all right, move your hand to the left just a little bit, right to a little bit, and now slam it down. And so we would hit the mousetraps, and if they were set, they would go off. If they weren't, then whatever.
Each level got more mousetraps set. So we started off with like 2 mousetraps, then it was like 4,
Right.
and then I think there was 1 or 2 left not set at the end.
And so we had like a bunch of these mousetraps that, were just kind of like laying around because we weren't using them anymore. We were done
Right.
with that episode. And so we started kind of making a game out of setting these mousetraps, like holding them in our hands, setting the trap, and then just throwing them at people to see if they would like snap closed. on
largely
them.
each other, just
Yeah,
chucking
yeah.
mousetraps.
And it wasn't always directed at one person because we were all throwing them at each other. We would, like Andrew and I were doing the sound booth stuff, so like we would try to set one underneath the person as they were trying to sit down.
Well, I did it to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I was walking around just like trying to like throw them on the back of people's legs to get them to just like snap on their leg and stuff.
Somebody like loading up their arm, lining up their whole arm like a Mexican restaurant, with just mousetraps and launching like 10, 12 of them.
That's hilarious. I didn't see that.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel.
Yeah.
But the individual that we were talking about with the car thing, it kind of just became the norm to like walk into his office and chuck
Kind of chuck one in, yeah.
mousetraps like in at him. And after the adult leaders had been doing that for a little while, my daughter Sky, who at that point in time was
8.
Was she 8?
Well, it would have been she would have been like 5 or 6 because that would have been what 2018,
She was
19,
like 6 or 7, somewhere in that ballpark. And so she basically learned how to set the mousetrap and stuff, and then she thought it was the funniest thing in the whole world to go in there and like just torture him by taunting him with the trap and then like throwing it at him and stuff, and the rest of us also thought it was hilarious.
Well, and also too, we had that Christmas party that we did the Legos and mousetraps walking across blindfolded, and then we started throwing. You and I started throwing mousetraps at people, and then my kids got involved.
Yep.
And then there was crying, and
so
we're bad people. And
somehow, when you and I get involved in something, it usually ends up with somebody crying. So
I haven't cried yet. We'll see where this day goes.
still time left.
Oh man,
got a whole other episode after this.
Yeah.
Any other stories you want to share? Like I don't want to cut you off.
I'm not prepared with any, unless you guys can think of anything else. I mean, there's millions. Of
I mean, we have so many.
I was just say I know. I was going to tell the milkshake story, or like the milkshake skit.
Yeah.
Because Josh never was a part of that.
Definitely
one.
post Josh.
No.
So if I remember correctly, like there were 8, 9 people.
There were a lot of people. That's probably close.
So you would have a jar of mouthwash and a toothbrush and toothpaste sitting on a thing, and everybody was asleep at a sleepover.
Oh,
and
gosh,
like
I
each
see where this is
individual
going.
person would wake up, and then they're like, "Oh crap, I forgot to brush my teeth." So the first person would go, second person would go, third, but they would all use the same toothbrush and mouthwash.
It's a skit that like the more it goes, the worse it gets.
Right.
Because the first person's brushing their teeth, and it's just a
It's
person
normal.
brushing their teeth.
Yeah.
And the second person, wait, is that the same toothbrush? And it builds beautifully upon itself.
Oh yeah, and naturally, I was the last person to go.
That one disgusts me more than the mayonnaise skit.
Really? I mean-
Oh, yeah.
Understandably, it's
I
not the most
disagree,
hygienic.
See, I think that I don't know. Yeah.
As a person who had to swallow mayonnaise that had been on people's legs, armpits, hair, every place that we just feet, and then mixed all that together, put that in Josh's mouth to rinse and gargle with, and then spit that out on my
Right, the baby bird
cereal.
onto his cereal.
And the first time I picked Reese's Puffs, which are not an easy cereal. You have to chew those. It's not a quick process. Second time I wised up and got whatever they
Was
are.
it a Cheerios or
No. Shoot.
Fruity Pebbles?
It's just terrible. I can't get the cereal. Snap, Crackle, Pop, Krispies.
Krispies.
Rice Krispies, yeah. Those you can just kind of swallow, especially
Yeah.
coated in mayonnaise. That's not the time I kept it down, by the way.
yes.
This was terrible.
Food lotion.
Anyway,
Gosh.
that's me saying for me, mayonnaise was worth. That was definitely
Yeah.
a big detour.
So
but-
then, me being at the end, I woke up and I was like, "Oh, sweet, a milkshake," because everybody was gargling and spitting back into the jar,
big frothy
I hate
cup.
and then
that.
I drank the.
Gosh.
Screams. There were screams.
There were screams.
Lots of screams.
Things went downhill after I left youth ministry.
That then the other one I was thinking of was the Adam and Eve sketch that you and I.
Oh, I was just asking the other day, Brooke, during VBS. I remember us practicing. Did we actually do that?
I think we did.
That's
We
a shame.
did. Do you remember the Adam and Eve skit from the Skit Guys?
I know the Skit Guy's version of it. I don't recall if you guys did it at church.
I'm
or
pretty
not.
sure we
Like,
did
not
it.
I
that
remember
saw.
us at least.
Unless I'm
if we
just
did it,
having a fever dream that we did it.
It's possible we did it and I blacked out of shame.
I was the one playing Eve.
Well, I don't know, man.
That's
Because
hilarious.
that was so. The premise of that skit was essentially the Adam and Eve thing, and I played Eve. Andrew played Adam.
yes.
We would go back and forth, and like I found the apple and ate the apple, and then we find out that we're naked and things like that. But it was funny because there was one line where I was like, "Here, take the apple. Here, take the apple. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it."
Yeah, I remember that. That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
I literally just thought about that a couple weeks ago, and I asked Brooke if that was real. Did that actually happen?
I thought we did that more than
I think we
once.
did. I think we did. Now that you're saying it, it's all coming back to me.
Yeah.
That definitely happened.
That's
So,
funny.
Yeah, those were like for me, those were like the peak youth group.
Just making people upset in the crowd. It's not a crowd pleaser.
And I know, and like Josh and I have talked about this. Like, I think this is one of the reasons why we always got along so well, especially in youth ministry. Like, we don't have shame when it comes to that kind of stuff.
No.
No, God,
yeah, I just
no.
made mention of my shame, but that was a bit.
Yeah, because it's not like shame. Like, we don't. If somebody gets grossed out, somebody doesn't like it. Okay, like don't care. It doesn't make us feel bad. Like, because that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The show business. We gotta do what we can to put
Right.
this on, and
Well, it's like one of those things that, like, it's funny because now being a campus pastor of a church, I very much have this mentality of, like, I don't know, like, for lack of a better way of saying it, just like that we're not in the entertainment business, right? I'm not here to entertain people. I'm here to teach people about Jesus and help you grow in your faith and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, like, when we were in youth ministry, I totally embraced, and I still would if I was in youth ministry, I think, embrace the idea of, like, we'll do anything we have to do to get kids to show up so that we can earn the
Right.
time
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be able to tell them about Christ in that sense. And so, yeah, like back then and even now, like when I've gone and helped out with lock-ins and all that kind of stuff, and anything that Stephen or any of those guys who are youth pastors now would ask us to do, we're just like,
Yeah.
yep, we're in. We'll do it.
Oh, absolutely.
whatever.
Like, I know I helped the last lock-in that we did, and that
Yeah.
was a lot of fun because I hadn't done that in 6 years.
yeah.
And you and I made it all night, which is
Shocking.
Crazy.
Bravo, boys.
yeah. Thanks, man.
I was
Yeah.
perfectly fine until Andrew and I did the Snack Shack, and I sat down.
Yeah, right.
As soon as I
yeah,
sat
that's a
down,
problem.
I was like, "Oh, this was a bad."
I-
And that was like at 4 in the morning. Like,
I said
we
from
were
the
almost
beginning.
done.
I said from the beginning of the night, I'm like, I will not sit down somewhere because if I sit down anytime after like midnight,
Yeah.
it's probably going to be game
And
over
it's
for
that
me.
last like hour and a half that just ticks by so slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because nobody's really like doing anything anymore. Just kind of hanging around. But,
Yeah, you're like, "Let this
it's
just
awesome.
be over."
yeah, I'm counting the seconds.
yeah. It is funny that the last like 3 hours of every lock-in, I think everybody's in misery and nobody
Yeah.
wants to admit it, kind of thing.
But we can't have parents pick up their kids at 3 a.m. So you just
Right.
gotta kind of
Yeah.
tough it
yeah.
out. You know?
No. I get that. Cool. I got a few questions
Okay.
to ask.
Yeah.
This is for all of us. We
Okay.
can all answer
Okay.
each one of these and stuff, but they're questions that, again, I asked AI to give me questions to ask you guys that would make things awkward, and so we'll see if they do or not.
Yeah.
Who knows? The first one is this: what's something that you passionately believe that if you were to bring it up at a dinner party would probably ruin the party?
Ooh.
Oh, jeez.
Getting you guys to admit some things here today.
Yeah. I think this is very in line with what we were talking about earlier. I think less people should be allowed to drive.
Yeah, like
That's definitely hot take territory, but like,
I definitely think I completely agree. I know Josh on our hot take. Once you reach a certain age, but there are some people that just should not be driving.
right.
Period.
Ultimately, so many people have a license saying that they know how to drive, and it's not true.
Right.
I'm a big I'm a nerd here, but big fan of traffic laws. Isn't that cool?
Well, and see,
yeah.
like that's the other thing too. Like the amount of people that don't know how to drive a roundabout,
Right.
is
yeah, dude.
is alarming.
Yeah, I
Or
don't.
like, do you know how to parallel park?
Yeah,
There are so many people that don't know how to parallel park.
and for me, I don't really get road rage except for at a 4-way intersection when it's like,
Oh
let's
my
just
gosh,
follow
don't even-
the rules. Let's just like
Oh.
let's not risk anything. You know.
Thank you.
Let's just do it correctly.
Like-
and so many people just have no concept of what's
Do
happening.
people not understand it's called right of way for a reason?
Yeah.
Like legitimately. Wow, that's
It's whoever
sometimes
wants
better.
it most.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks, guys.
Sorry for everybody. I had to step away for a second to make
Josh
it so
just
we
fixed
could cool
things.
off a little bit. Yeah, no, I'm in 100% agreement with that. As a matter of fact, Brooke gets kind of not angry at me, but she like gets frustrated because we'll pull up to 4-way stops, and people will try to wave me on, and if it's not my turn, I will sit there until we
Oh, yeah.
die at
Oh,
that stop
100%.
sign. I'm not going anywhere, dude.
I'm gonna start throwing my car keys out the window just to show them in business. Like I'm not.
just
I'm not moving.
You do the
It's-
cop thing where you like reach out and drop them on the ground, put both hands out
Yeah.
the window.
Yeah.
I'm not moving until we
I don't know. There's something
follow the
about it.
rules.
It's like
Yeah.
let's be safe.
Did you guys ever see that video when they put a roundabout in like Kentucky or somewhere like that, and the people just
Drive through the middle.
yeah, that literally people were like going opposite direction of what you're
Oh, I
supposed
gotta
to
turn
go.
left. I'm gonna go this way.
Like it was so crazy watching some of those people just like lose their
Well,
minds
first of
'cause
all,
they've
it's
never seen a
Kentucky,
roundabout. Well, I think it was Kentucky. Who knows?
Inherent
I
disadvantage.
think
but
just about any state, if it's the first time that they've experienced
Yeah.
it, they're going to do like that. But
my dad was a deputy when like GPSs were becoming a big thing.
Yeah.
And they didn't know how to keep up with roundabouts. So he's talked about how so many people for those first few years, their GPS would say turn left, so they just turn left into the roundabout.
oh, nice.
Because they knew that's the direction they needed to go. And that's I get the confusion. It's a new concept. but-
Sure.
I always think of the GPS with the episode of The Office, where it's like
It's a lake. It's a lake.
Yeah. Turn left into the left.
turn left here. Oh, right here, and then just swerving. Like, I don't think goods have gone up with inflation enough.
Yeah.
Like I don't think things are cheaper now than they should be.
Okay.
Because there are certain things that were held,
That's a hot take. Because
but if you follow the track of inflation and the value of the dollar and things like that, things were held at a prematurely low price and did not follow that curve. So when they try to catch up to that curve, that's when people get mad. But if everything had a gradual flow of increase, it's not nearly as impactful as a gigantic hike in.
sure.
So you think things should be more expensive?
Yes.
Okay.
But I think they should have.
I think you're right about that ruining a dinner party. Yeah.
Because
My thing,
I'd be
everybody
pissed
agrees
if
with my
but
thing.
here's
Like,
the thing
you're not
is,
invited ever again.
but here's the thing. I'm also talking about wages and everything too. Like that did not follow the curve of inflation.
Sure.
So everything.
Oh, okay.
So relatively speaking, that it should be a parallel graph and a parallel curve, but it's not. You see the peaks and valleys and everything in it.
Yeah.
So everything should be more expensive as technology improves, things like that. But then you also see those tapers of, as technology gets more advanced, things become easier to produce, and then those prices go down. People hold those prices at a fictional height because they just increase their profit margin. So if you follow a natural curve, things are better and things would be better off. So yeah, so that would definitely ruin a dinner party.
Yeah.
He's talking economics, and it's like way over my head.
Yeah, and this is my favorite thing. So
I
know
just
it's
heard you
kind
say
of,
that things should be more expensive, and I hate that.
Good. Okay, so that's like anybody at any dinner party.
You're
They pick
right.
out what they don't like.
You're going to find very few people that, if you lead with that, are going to be like, yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, but like I said, if you think about it from an economic
It's a nacho.
standpoint, yeah, I mean, and
Yeah.
ignorance is bliss.
It's way
I love
over my
bliss.
head. So, anyways, you got one?
I was the
He was the driving
Oh, that's
thing.
right, the
What
driving.
about you?
Fixing the AC
Yeah.
problem.
How do you want to ruin this afternoon? Morning. Sorry. Good
No,
morning,
I
Josh.
think that mine that would ruin a dinner party is one that I've showed my hand on this podcast before of the birds aren't
Knight.
real.
Oh, so
So-
we all know the birds aren't real.
No, so you're alone in the Dark Knight thing. You know that, like, because everybody else that we talk to and stuff like that.
That is a hill I will die on.
Yeah,
too.
and I'm fine with
Oh,
you
yeah.
dying on it, but but I'm saying like you should like recognize that that's not going to ruin a dinner party because everybody else is going to go, yeah, the Dark Knight truly was a really good like movie series. You're the only one that's going to be sitting there going like fuming, saying like,
there was one good movie out of 3.
Yeah.
I mean, 33% ain't bad.
Which one's the good one for you?
The second one,
All right.
the one with Heath Ledger.
If you had to pick one, I'd respect that.
It just would be.
Yeah.
He just gave me the look like this guy's insane.
I'm trying to goad him into this. I was in the room
I know you are.
I was in the room when Josh first watched those movies.
I was.
So it's like
I
personal.
was.
loss that he
I'm
doesn't like
sorry, but I was bored. The third one, I was bored.
it. Yeah.
Because the third one,
I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. The third one.
the first one was. I don't know. I just couldn't. I couldn't get into it. I guess.
Interesting.
We've talked
I'm
about
try-
this before,
yeah,
so
I'm-
let's
yeah.
spare the listeners.
Yeah.
I
Let's
can
not
move on
add
to a
my
different
voice to the
question, but-
conversation because I have a lot to say.
But no, I think that I guess the passionately believe part would be the hang up for this one on me and stuff like that. It's like I don't know. I think that my thing that would probably ruin a dinner party, and it's kind of sad to say in a sense, would be like if I were to like really deep dive into some of my like theological
Oh yeah.
things about just like because most of the circles I run in have a lot of Christians in them, and if I were to like start calling them out for all the bullcrap ways that they live instead of like living for what they say they live for, then I think that would be like probably the thing to ruin some of the
What
dinner
would
party.
people say if they found out you're a Jesus freak?
Right?
Josh?
Yeah.
What would they do
What
if
would
they
they-
find
yeah.
out it's true?
I don't really care if they label me a Jesus freak.
Ooh.
So,
Preach.
yeah.
Yeah.
Recording DC Talk. Who, by the way, did you see the news?
No.
About
Newsboys?
about
Oh.
Michael Tate?
Oh, I did hear about this.
No, I did
Yeah.
not.
So Michael Tate, who is from the Newsboys,
Right. Well,
DC Talk,
Yeah.
and then became the lead singer for the Newsboys. It came out like dude's been into some really messed up stuff for a really long time,
It's a shame.
like heavy drug use, sexual things, all kinds of stuff. Anyways, we don't have to dive into that stuff. I just thought it was funny because we were singing
Yeah,
a DC Talk
noteworthy,
song.
yeah.
Anyways, I got a few other questions. I'll just
Sure.
throw some out there. If you were arrested with no explanation, what would your friends assume that you got arrested for?
I don't know. What would you guys assume I got arrested for?
I know we could have answered this for each other. I guess that's one way to do it.
I don't know. One time I got pulled over here in Wadsworth. I was going too fast. I didn't know. And the cop asked me, sir, if I were to search your vehicle, would I find anything that you wouldn't want me to find? And I should have said no, and that was true, but what I said is I certainly hope not. And I was just trying to be casual, it didn't work. And then I got the, sir, can I please search your vehicle? So I think if people knew that about me, they would probably assume it was something similar,
Yeah.
but just like trying to play it cool, but not at all.
Right.
Yeah.
You being nonchalant about a
Yeah,
situation where you
yeah.
shouldn't be nonchalant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Josh, for you, I could I could totally see there being a day where you just like go manic and postal and like burn down a Chipotle or something
Yeah.
like that. You know?
Specifically,
That's
yeah.
fair. I would say for you, like yeeting a kid off of a bridge for throwing a pen off of a bridge.
Yeah.
Listen, I've come a long way since that day. Okay. Back in that day, that's
sure.
a fair assessment of things.
I think anything rage based for you and I 5-6 years ago would have been
letting your Mr.
nail
Hyde
on the
out.
head.
Yeah, for me, I've come a long way in my anger and stuff like that. I don't know, like, what would be the thing for me. I think that it probably would, like, center back around anger. Like, I think that people would probably just think, like, maybe it would probably be road rage.
Yeah.
That, like, I pulled a guy out of his car and beat him half to death because of him, like,
Not
cutting
using
me
a
off
turn
in
signal.
traffic or something like that. So, yeah.
No, I think mine would be along the lines of what Andrew said, like, just acting nonchalant and trying to make something funny that isn't funny.
Yeah. Really whiffing a serious conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Here's a fun one. What's something you've lied about to sound cooler but still feel guilty about today?
That I don't like the Dark Knight. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I think.
You've never lied about that.
Yeah, no.
No, that I lied that I don't
Oh,
like
you actually
it.
do like it.
No.
That would be amazing.
That would be crazy.
Like if you revealed it
What
today
a
and you're
funny
just
thing
like,
to hold
you know
on
what?
to.
It turns out I actually love them. I just
yeah.
keep pressing that button. No.
I just,
I'd be proud of you.
man, I
I'm
don't
a
know.
notoriously just bad liar. So I'm trying to, like,
Yeah.
every time I tried to lie when I was younger, I got caught quick.
I kind of feel the same way
I'm
about it.
struggling to...
I was very
Replace them.
two-faced when I was in like high school and stuff because I got like really into cussing and listening to music that I shouldn't have been listening to and all that kind of stuff, and so I never really like when it came to my parents and people in church and stuff like that, I was kind of like two-faced about that stuff, so I was good at lying about those things. I was trying to think of something that I lied about to try to seem like cooler though.
I mean, I would, like, in high school, middle school, like, I would always have a friend who would embellish the truth. And I would always, like, add to it to kind of back his story up, even though I knew it wasn't true.
Okay, yeah.
So, like, I would do that.
Trying to be cool by proxy kind of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
I think a ubiquitous little lie that we all do like that is if somebody says, you know, have you seen this movie? And you've, like, heard of it, you'll say, I've seen bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And I haven't.
Yeah.
It's a straight
yeah,
up lie.
that's-
That's something I, like, have done and do sometimes. I don't feel guilty about it.
I'll be like, yeah, I know of that movie, or I think I've seen
It
it.
makes me sound
Yeah.
smart. I think movies is kind of the biggest hang up for me.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to sound intelligent about this, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
I feel no guilt about anything I've ever done, is really what it comes down to. I think I'm pretty spotless.
That's
Thanks.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that I feel guilt about anything I've ever done, but spotless is a strong word.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to be your best guest ever, so
Hey,
if you figure
hey,
I'm
hey,
coming
cool.
with like a
You
moral
are
high
setting-
ground
setting the
too,
bar-
then
oh,
it's
yeah.
like,
Oh, of course.
you know, I'm trying to cross all these check marks as I can.
All right, final one of these because I think we're getting close to time. What's the weirdest thing you've done when you thought that nobody was watching?
Wait, what was it? I'm sorry. I zoned out. I legitimately zoned out.
We're doing a podcast, Josh.
Yeah. This is the most ADHD podcast on the planet.
Where am I?
No, what's the weirdest thing that you've done when you thought nobody was watching?
Man, that's a hard thing, because I do a lot of weird things.
Yeah. I'm a very strong self-proclaimed nerd, but I keep most of that behind locked doors, you know?
Yeah.
Like very few people share my interests, so a lot of the ways I indulge in that kind of stuff is just like while nobody's watching. I'm not really embarrassed about it, but like
Right.
just hours spent watching like Elder Scrolls lore videos that are worthless. Totally will never benefit me at all.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff.
I mean,
is-
I'll get on those like deep dive rabbit holes of video games like Subnautica,
Yeah.
people inventing lore and stuff like that.
I was going to say, I think all three of us are in that boat because we all have like a super nerdy side. And yeah, I would say that like most of the people that we hang out with and stuff like that wouldn't sit with us while we do those things that we do.
no, I wouldn't want to
in that
subject them
sense.
to that. is
It's
the
like
main thing.
it's like
That's
me
fair, too.
gaslighting you with the whole Ray thing in the last episode
yeah,
that just came out. One of my friends, she was like, you lost me at the first. I was like,
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I guess when we nerd out
Yeah,
like
I was
that.
about to say, we've said before that like there's going to be times where we'll talk about those things. Feel free to hit the skip forward 30 seconds button,
or just
and
or
move
turn the
past
volume
it.
down to 1 and just
Yeah.
let it play in the
Right.
background.
And see, that's where it's like I was listening to the last episode you guys released, which was about not force projection. What was it with the
Oh, the
energy transfer?
Yeah,
essence
essence
transfer.
transfer,
totally
yeah.
new and like thing to me, and I was just sitting there like, "Whoa, what are they talking about?" So it's that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So I'm hooked. Maybe that's good feedback for you guys. I was like, it made me want to learn more.
Oh, cool.
'Cause I was-
Yeah,
But
we love that.
it's also funny though. I don't know if you get this too, but like with all the Star Wars stuff that you've gotten me started on listening to, like I went down a whole nother rabbit hole just listening to the original books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I surprised myself with how much I actually do know and retain from all that stuff. Even like listening to it, I'm like, wow, that sounds semi-intelligent. It's weird.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. Like, because when you and I started talking about the Star Wars stuff a while back, that's what triggered me to want to read the books that I've read and to dive into it, like some of the more lore stuff that surrounds it and everything. And so that's why, for those of you out there that you're like, when you hear us talk about Star Wars and you're like, man, this stuff's way over my head. That's the reason why, is because we've just gone like down crazy rabbit trails, and I share, like, you know, like the thing with Bane, that after I read the Bane series, I shared with Josh.
And it makes sense to me, because then I immediately went and rewatched the movies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, there it is.
Right. You kind of see it in that sense.
And it was funny because there was a time where the kids and I were riding home from church or something, and we got on the topic of kyber crystal colors.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
that's
like
a great one to dive into, too.
The amount of stuff that I knew, because it just depends on what canon you follow and everything like that. So it's fun to have those, but in any normal conversation, it can be embarrassing if you have shame about it.
Yeah.
I think the process of learning about that stuff is where it's like, you're spending a lot of time just like diving into something that, for anybody who doesn't get it, what are you doing?
Yeah, so you're spending all your time doing this.
I guess that would be the embarrassing thing. Like, I could spend my time doing a lot more productive.
I wouldn't want to
things.
show anybody this process.
Yeah,
so being in
right, exactly.
Exactly.
So yeah,
how much time I spend doing it.
Yeah,
I think for me, like when I was thinking about this question of the weirdest thing that I've done when I thought that nobody was watching, I just have like. So we've talked about before that I don't have an inner dialogue. I have an inner monologue. So I have like my own voice in my head that when I'm thinking about things, it's my voice, but there's no question answer like back and forth. I just have a very like linear thought process. And it becomes a problem when I'm by myself, because peek behind the curtain of my life is that if I'm left here by myself, like when Brooke and Sky are out of town on on vacation or going to visit somebody or something like that, if I'm here by myself, I will talk out loud, but it's like the most nonsensical mess. Like I'll be marching around in just like basketball shorts and like, I'm the king of this castle, and like talking to myself about stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those things that if there was ever like
somebody hacking
camera footage of me doing that stuff, that it would be very embarrassing.
Alone is the best time to learn impressions like that. You know, just walk around saying crazy
I do that stuff.
I workshop voices and stuff like, for D&D. Like I try to workshop. I have so many backup characters that I'm like trying to figure out. But then I'll catch myself doing it out loud. Because then I'm like, well, how does that actually sound? But I'll do that at work all the time.
The current D&D character that I'm playing, that voice that he's got. Originally, like the note that I had written down was a blend of John Goodman and Matthew McConaughey, and as I tried to practice that, I was like, I gotta drop the Matthew McConaughey thing. It's not gonna work out.
I mean, to be fair, it sounds like Foghorn Leghorn, which works because you have a giant chicken,
right? And,
so
and that was part of the inspiration for it, was Foghorn Leghorn, but it was John Goodman's character in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Okay.
The Bible salesman guy.
Yeah.
That was like kind of the thing that really sparked that idea.
But I mean,
of having
you've been nailing it with that. Like,
I appreciate
it. I'm actually proud of you. Like how well that you've like latched onto this character.
Thanks, man.
Like,
wait till tomorrow.
Things
are gonna get fun.
I hope so.
I will say this: I was dialed back, like way back, but it's still going to be fun. Like there's still a lot of like cool things going on. So.
Yeah, I still gotta come up with like what my character's been doing.
And wait till you see how prepared I am. It's going to be crazy. You guys are going to be blown away.
These guys are nerds.
Yeah,
that's where I draw the line. Dungeons and Dragons is where I draw the line.
No.
But have you ever played?
I've not. I was a brief couple weeks stint where I played a tabletop RPG with a few people.
Okay.
It just didn't stick, but.
We should get you in.
I was going to say, I've never found the right people, wink, wink.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like,
so.
I have no problem doing two separate games.
Well, either that or we see if we can just bring him to the table to at least try out and see if you like it and stuff.
You guys are witnessing me feel very special right now. This is very nice.
All right, well, we're pretty much at time now, so let's get ready to wrap up this episode. We're going to put the pressure on Andrew. What do we want people to do, Andrew?
What do I want people to do?
Yeah, like what as we wrap up this episode.
Oh man, just love each other more. You know, just be kind. Just care.
That's funny.
But you could love us more by going and following us on social media. Check out our link tree in the description. Facebook, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all of the things. Go ahead, give us some 5-star reviews. Not that we're conceited, a little bit, but
a little tiny bit.
Those help us push our podcast out into the algorithm.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do appreciate you guys interacting with those things. We do have a sponsor that we mention every single week. It is the Salt Collective. You can check them out by going to remainsalty.com. But other than those things, we hope that you guys will just have an awesome week this week. We will be back next Monday with another episode of Good Morning Josh. And Andrew will be here for us for that episode as well.
Woohoo!
And we're going to have a fun game to play in that episode.
A fun game to play. So we
I'm
will
terrified.
see you guys in the next one. We love you.
Bye.
It was a practice one, right?
Yeah, just a practice.
Cool. Run that one back.
Yeah.
I'm going to try my Toblerone now.
No, do it on. Do it while we're recording.
I should have partook. I should have done that. Dang it.
Freaking Josh.
I should have been like, all right.
I don't know what I was. I guess
Quick Toblerone review.
I guess my mind seriously went into just we're having a conversation. The mics disappeared.
I was like,
and honestly, I think it's because I don't have my headphones on.
that's why he was laughing so hard, is because you started doing that, and I was just like death staring you, like, bro, did you forget about the fact that we're sitting here recording a podcast?
I did.